Hey, all, Jesse K here with developersagent.com, here to talk about foreclosures and why some markets may not be getting better. It is the springtime. It's just about the middle of April right now. I'm sure you're watching this blog post if it's anyone watching in the future. Today's date is April 22nd. I'm posting this blog today because I'm not really sure where the market's headed. I've got a few clients right now looking at investing in the market. I've got some other ones looking at buying their first home. I hear one thing from buyers, I see one thing with buyers, I hear something else from investors, and I'm not really sure what to expect. I know we've said this before, but DC is very unique. If you look outside DC though, and that's my main focus today, some of the suburbs of DC, it's a lot different than the way that the reality is here. For instance, right now I'm working with a buyer in Woodbridge, Virginia. Spectacular neighborhood, a spectacular area. It's called Ripen Landing, and the reason I'm using this as an example is because of the amount of properties I've seen in Ripen Landing within the last month. It's a pretty crazy market. I was there yesterday actually, and I've never seen so many lockboxes in one community in my entire career. It's an awkwardly frightening sight. What is even more weird is the amount of short sales that are going on and the inability for the market to maintain itself, even for the buyers that qualified for conventional financing on a 30-year fix with great rates, with A papers several years ago. The entire market is falling apart as we speak. If I could put a ratio to it, yesterday I probably saw lockboxes on 3 out of every 5 homes in the community. Whether it was sold, whether it was an agent that left the lockbox on the door, there were a lot there. What I'm looking at now though, what I want to show you today, and I'm hoping you can see this graph behind me, but I just want to show you what's going on with the market. If we start off just by looking at the sold properties for the last 90 days in Ripen Landing, I want to show you some pricing. If you see here, the property was purchased, or at least listed, was for $339,000, and it sold for $330,000. We've got another one here, asking was $335,000, sold for $295,000. One sold for $340,000, $310,000, $310,000, $310,000. $280,000, great purchase. $314,000, $305,000, $300,000. This is within the last 90 days that I've settled. We've got a $292,000, a $336,000. So, if we backtrack for a second, take a look at the market and look at the active properties in the community. Same community, same area. It's a big difference. Hold that thought for 1 second. Here's the difference between the two. We've got 20 active townhomes in Ripen Landing right now. If we just scroll through the prices for a second, we look at an actual market rate home for a seller who's trying to sell it at market rate. It's a property that's been on the market for over a year, 384 days, $555,000. Their purchase price, which we can take a look at on the tax record right now, was, they paid $521,000. And you can't see it where you are, but if I shift this over, this right here says $521,000. They purchased it on the 13th of March, 2006. So if we look at the commissions and the taxes of the property itself, it should bring it to right around $554. Unfortunately, the market isn't there anymore. We just looked at sold properties selling in the 300 to 310 range. You've got another market rate home, $449, one for $360. Here's a $299. Under the price of the properties that were on the market, sold in the last 90 days. And that's been on the market for 4 months. It gets worse though. $285, $297, $289, $289. And it gets even worse. There are some 250s in here as well. $280. What's this? $265, 2 days on the market. What we're looking at is values decreasing beyond the properties that have been purchased over the last few months. It's a crazy idea, but it's still occurring. What's even crazier is that we've been getting offers accepted, and I can't disclose it, but even better than the prices that are on this market, which means prices will continue to fall. If we look at the contracted properties for a second, same neighborhood, same area, there are 15 under contract. Their asking was $310. But if we scroll down, $275 under contract. I may know who this new owner is. $250 under contract. $280 under contract. $260 under contract in 3 days. It's amazing. It's a really, really different market down there. And what's even worse is that a lot of the properties that aren't selling at the reduced market prices are getting taken back by the banks from either the short sale or the foreclosure, taken back by the banks. The banks don't want to keep the properties. They didn't sell for the higher price, which means the bank has to come back on the market with the properties again at an even lower price. It's kind of dramatic to think about, but it's occurring, and it's occurring right in front of our eyes, and I'm sure a lot of you out there aren't realizing the depth of the situation outside of Washington, D.C., one of my main areas. Anyway, just wanted to show you what's going on with the market. If you're interested in investment property, these next 3 to 4 months might be the best time to get in. I don't really know. I don't think there's an accurate way of predicting it. Inventory is still somewhat relatively high. More foreclosures are predicted. More property rates are adjusting. If you look at the owners that own the properties in the community that had A-paper purchases, or they were great clients, fully qualified for the purchase price in the 500s, if you see your neighbor's home selling for $250, what's the point in keeping yours? I can't justify it. What's even crazier is the developers still have their model unit open and they still have a fully staffed employee on site. I can't explain it. If you have any questions, shoot us an email. If not, thanks for watching. This is Jesse K with buildingdc.com. Excuse me, that's our other site, with developersagent.com. Thanks for watching.